am proud young Irishman in Ulster's hills. My life began a happy boy. The green fields ran and I kept God and man's laws. But when my age was barely 10, my country's wrongs were told again by the tens of thousands marching then, and my heart stirred to their cause.
Today is about obviously commemorating the 20th anniversary of the local Republican Pat McGeown, who was a community activist, NRA volunteer, Sinn Féin councillor and general good person. The local commemoration committee on this 20th anniversary believed that the best fitting tribute that they could pay to Pat in this anniversary is to hold a small commemoration of friends and comrades to pay their respect for his connection to this struggle.
I learned of centuries of strife, of cruel laws, injustice right when I saw there in my own young life the fruits of foreign sway. Protesters that tortured men, divisions nurtured, passions blamed, outrage provoked, rights cause defend. This is the conqueror's way.
I first encountered Pat Beág in 1972, not long after I joined the Fianna up around the Kashmir. And Pat was a volunteer in Oakley Naharan at that time, and he was out operating against the Brits. The first time I saw him, he was actually opening fire on the Brits with an M1 carbine. So I got to know him quite well in those days. And then of course he moved on. He was in other companies in the 2nd Battalion, and he eventually ended up in prison. And as a result of an attempted escape from the cages, he ended up in the H blocks, and he came onto the wing that I was in H4, and he shared a cell with Larry Marley. Larry, who later went on to be the mastermind behind the big escape from the cache in 1983. But Pat was always seen as a leader. He was always quiet, soft-spoken, very, very rarely see him lose his temper, and always an astute mind when it came to any sort of political analysis. He provided great leadership for the younger men in the blocks, like myself, who would have been, 3, 4, 5 years younger. And then, of course, we were both of us on the hunger strike. Of course, Pat survived the hunger strike, but he was in very bad health afterwards as a result of what he had suffered during that period on hunger strike. And even directly in the aftermath, when the hunger strike had ended and I shared a hospital ward with Pat, it was clear how unwell he was. It took months and months for him to recover sufficiently to be allowed back into the blocks again. And he was never a well man after that. Of course, he got out of prison. He became one of the political leaders of the movement and continued to provide leadership there. And of course, his untimely death as a young man in his early 40s was directly attributable to the time he spent on hunger strike in 1981. And many people describe Pat as the 11th hunger striker.
I'll wear no convict uniform, nor meekly serve by time, that Britain might from Ireland's fate 800 years of crime. Does Britain need 1,000 years of protest, riots, death and tears, or will these last decades and fears of 80 decades swell an end to our land's agony, new hope for human dignity, or will the last obscenity be the scrimhead's blossom. So while we're no convict uniform, nor meekly serve my time, the Britain binds from Ireland's fight its 100 years of crime.